Well, if I had the talent to sing, I would actually break out in song by that great group from the 70s and the 80s, the Elements. Of course, that is Earth, Wind, and Fire, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are in September. And you know what that means. That means NFL, the season is on the doorstep. It has rung the doorbell, and we are ready to open the door and let her in yet for another season. And who am I? Willie Ep.3 Jr. What is this? This is a Show Sho Nuff Divided. This is episode 3 of the NFL Season Preview SuperShow. We got one left. We got Brian and we've got Dave. Dave Michaels. Man, let me tell you something about Dave Michaels. Dave Michaels is an OG in this game. When I tell you that, I have learned so much from him. He is my brother on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. You can hear his shows on the 9s and 3s and the 10s and 4s, Monday through Friday, on the TuneIn app, as well as at bgcsports.net, Radio Garden, and all of your other favorite streaming materials where you can get all that great stuff. The Dave Michaels Show, that is what that is. I have learned a lot from Dave. So I'm very, very happy that he took time out of his schedule to be on the show with us. This is his first time on the SBMG, so you know what that means. And Brian is one of the co-stars of a Show Sho Nuff Divided. So he's back for the 3rd year. And we're about to get into this because I got a whole list of things that I'm going to be talking to these guys about. And you already know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. So it is time for us to go. Let's go get it. Come on.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Yeah, I know what it is. You little suckers get to talking, grabbing, not walking, strapped to the pong, getting jaws and smacking, they sleep with the coffins. And they getting greedy like saying, give me all.
Oh, yeah, there is nothing like that music that is a welcoming tune to my eardrums, that it's blood, sweat, and tears as everything jumps off the radio into eardrums all over the solar system. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in the boys. There's Brian. There's Dave. Brian, what's going on, man? Welcome back to your show, season 3. It is. Man, hope everything is good with you.
Yeah, everything is great, Willie. Glad to be back. Glad football's back.
Yeah, and well, we're going to get into it here in just a moment. Now, I failed to mention in the intro how we have OU on one side and we have Texas on the other. So Dave Michaels, there he is in his burnt orange love affair, I guess, for the lack of a better phrase. Dave, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, Willie. Thanks for having me, Brian. It's good to meet you and be a part of it. We are on the threshold, as you would put it, for the NFL season 2024.
Yep, and it is absolutely going to be on fire. We're going to get into all of that here in just a second. I got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about. I've got some topics. And Brian, you know how we do it, man. You know how we do it, Dave. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride because we don't always go by the outline per se. And I know you know something about that, being the OG in this game that you have been and doing it for so long and doing it so well. So
I promise I will not bring up Cedric's name. I promise.
All right. Well, that actually was one of the questions. No, I'm just joking. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
All right. All right. So welcome in everybody that's checking us out on Facebook, through my personal page, through the ShakeBack Media Group's Facebook page, as well as LinkedIn, YouTube for the ShakeBack Media Group, and the Mafia Members Podcast. Shout out to Ben. Of course, he is a Buffalo Bills fan. I see you guys out there watching us on Instagram TV. Appreciate it. Drop all comments. and all that. We will appreciate it. And of course, Twitter, as we are steamrolling to 15,000 followers there on the Twitter. So we appreciate that. Make sure you guys go out there and smash all subscribe buttons, all like buttons, all follow buttons on all program or on all platforms. Make sure you hit the bell as well, because we got dope content. And as a matter of fact, I'm unveiling something on this show that these two fellas don't know about as of yet, but that's what it is. All right. And then I have to mention this this show and all shows on the ShakeBack Media Group are powered by the ShakeBack Life Coaching Practice. Our goal is to coach you to be the best you that you have ever met. Now offering 20% off for potential clients. And for those that desire to be a certified life coach, contact me for details using the code #ShakeBack. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about our squads. What took place in the offseason, what is taking place in training camp, and what is taking place in the preseason. As we know, the season is 2 days away. Let's start with the co-star of the show, Brian. Of course, he is a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Biggest storyline for your Jaguars from the offseason all the way up until this point, Brian.
I think at this point, I think it was the defense coordinator. Getting Ryan Nielsen, the new scheme that they're bringing in, just seeing how that's going to work. We had the players. I feel like the players were there, and the scheme just didn't fit them. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, that's one of the biggest moves. I mean, obviously bringing in Brian Thomas Jr. In the draft, and then going and getting Gabe Davis. Pretty big moves in the receiving corps. So I feel like those are weapons that you can pair with, Christian Kirk to give Trevor Lawrence at least a chance to succeed. So
I think that's critical.
Brian, you picked up a pretty good coach. It was just signed, I believe, in June or July. Former 5-time All-Pro center of the Cowboys signed as a coach. He was also in the USFL and XFL for a bit. Talking about Andre Gerard, he's going to be your defense. He's going to help with defensive line as well as offensive line. So that can only bolster the protection and kind of work on schemes as you were talking about earlier for your offensive line.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, and with Cam Robinson, who has been on the shelf for a couple different times or a couple different stints in his career, that is one player. That is one player that will benefit from that, along with the rest of those guys up front, as they do what they need to do to protect Sunshine. All right, Dave. I can't remember if you are a Cowboy fan or if you are a Cowboy fanatic or if you just like somebody that just roots for him.
I grew up. Hold on a second. That's the Malachi emergency broadcast system going off. That's our dog. I have followed the Cowboys since basically their inception. So as far as fandom is concerned, and he's arguing with me now, but I've been a part of the landscape as a fan, as a person who's been in the media, someone who's covered the Cowboys, who has interviewed and had radio shows with at the time current and former Cowboys. So I mean, I kind of know the ins and outs of what goes on with the Dallas Cowboys. As far as current and where we stand today, I look at it more as a business, and seeing that, I mean, it was very recently, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys reached the $10 billion mark as far as most of the as far as their assets are concerned. You can say what you want about Jerry Jones as a GM. We'll discuss that in a minute. But as a businessman, there's none better. He has created the monster that is the Dallas Cowboys. Marketing, promotion, advertising, the whole 9 yards, he's done it. Now, you want to talk about his ideas of managing as far as players are concerned, and that's a different beast by a different color for another show.
Yes. But it's always fun to troll Cowboy fans, and we do that a lot on this show, don't we, Brian?
Yes, we do.
You can troll it.
Well, we won't get into the trolling too much today because there are certain Cowboy fans out there that when they're in their mid-season form, and I see different things on social media. Oh yeah, trust me, I'll pull out the big guns at that point. And nothing. I'm telling you right now, Dave. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is left unsafe or safe, because if I see something on social media from one of my friends that's a Cowboy fan, you can best believe I'm going to go and screenshot it, and it's going to end up in one of these shows.
You know, and I'll be the first to tell you, I know I'm very honest when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. When every training camp, every off season, every training camp before the season, you hear the same rhetoric over and over and over again, be it from Jerry Jones or whomever and whatever. This is our year. We're going to the Super Bowl. I have bad news for you. No, it ain't. Not a chance. Seriously. When was the last time the Cowboys were in a Super Bowl? Oh, that's right. The last century.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything since 95.
Yeah.
When was the last time they saw the NFC Championship? That's right. 1995. That's right. So, I mean, no. What have you done for me lately? You got rid of Aikman. You tried Quincy Carter. You tried Drew Bledsoe. You tried Tony Romo. You got Dak Prescott. No.
Don't forget Drew Henson and Chad Hutchinson in there.
Or what was his name? McGee out of A&M.
Yeah. Also, Steve Walsh was on those other teams. Okay.
Yeah.
As a Raider fan, the biggest storyline for my Raiders coming into the season, I said this on the other two previous super shows. It was about the quarterback carousel between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Brian, I know you know a lot about Gardner, and I'm really interested to really just get your feeling about my thought on Gardner Minshew being named the starter, because not necessarily because Aiden O'Connell lost the job. I don't think he actually lost the job, because neither one of them did that great in the postseason or in the preseason. I think for Luke Getsy and the type of offense that he runs, I think Gardner Minshew might be the better fit because of his ability to get out of the pocket. If there's a scramble play on 3rd and 3, he can go get you 5 with his feet. He can actually throw a decent deep ball. He actually is very good in the mid-range passing game as well. So my thought is that it's not because AOC necessarily lost the job. It was because Gardner Minshew is a better fit. Your thoughts about that?
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that I think Gardner Minshew brings a little bit different. Like I think he brings more of an it factor. I'm not gonna say he has an it factor, but he brings more of an it factor. He brings more fire, I think. Watching the two of them play, I mean, he just does. He is definitely a more mobile quarterback than O'Connell. He's got quite a bit more experience than O'Connell. If O'Connell's not ready to go, they're going to go with Gardner Minshew. It's just that simple. It could be by week 3, 4, 5, they do go with O'Connell, depending on how. You hope not, because then that means it's not going well for you and your Raiders. But it may be the plan to try to merge him into the spot. But right now, I mean, I think that's the best fit was Gardner Minshew at the quarterback.
Dave, you have a thought about that?
The Raiders themselves, there's a lot of retooling. I mean, you talk about a couple of the players right now that you are keeping a close eye on, but there's a lot of retooling, and it's not just on the offensive side; it's also the defensive side of that ball. You're going to have, I'm not saying reload, but your defensive backs. I mean, the AFC West is still, I mean, for all intent and purposes, that's still a throwing division. That ball's in the air, I would say, at least 80% of the time on all your teams. No difference. I mean, the Raiders are probably that way as well. But, I mean, between the Chargers, which are rebuilt, I mean, Harbaugh is doing a great job right now. You've got the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think all roads to get to the championship are going to have to go through Kansas City. Denver, I'm not too sure about them yet. They're still the question mark. That's a huge question mark. But, again, your defensive backs, your defensive line, I think, is still strong. I still see a good pass rush from that front line. You got good linebackers. It's the guys in the back. It's the DBs.
Well, I'll say this. Okay. On the heels of that, a couple things. If Aiden O'Connell is inserted into the starting lineup by week 4 or 5, whatever you said, Brian, it may not be a complete indictment on how the Raiders are doing at that point. Because I think, or I know, for the first time in probably 25 years, we as Raider fans can say that the strength of our team is our defense. It really is. It's the front four has the potential to be one of the top 3 or 4 front fours in the NFL. With the addition of Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Koonce with the way that he came on last year, and of course Mad Max on the other side. The linebackers are good. They're reliable. They're great tacklers. Spillane is the leader. As a matter of fact, he was named one of the captains today. Our defense, our secondary is good and improving. Nate Hobbs is really good. Jacorian Bennett has had an awesome offseason. Marcus Epps is a wily old vet, and Trayvon Moore, Day right there from TCU, has played better the last couple of years also. And then Nate Hobbs will be able to play more of his natural position in the slot, which that gives a lot of flexibility. But for the Raiders and that front four and the ability to get pressure with those 4 guys, a lot like we did against Kansas City on Christmas Day last year, that's why I say it may not be as a big of an indictment on how the season is going as we may think. And then, and if that's the case, Aiden O'Connell would be way more ready this time than he was last year. That's a given. All right, moving right along. I have a question. This part of the show is called "It's Hot in Here," or as Nelly would say, "It's hot in her." And my question is for both you guys. Let's start with you, Brian. Which coach is the seat the hottest for? And the coach that you think that the seat is hottest for, do you think they'll make it through the season?
Yeah, I got to go with Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy's seat is hot. It's been hot the last couple of years, and he's made it through. Because he does have the success of getting him to the playoffs, but can't do anything with it. And I think it's going to be very similar. I think he gets them to the playoffs. I don't think Dak can do it. I don't think Dak's he's not the answer there in Dallas. And so, regardless of the team around him, I think Dak fails him again. And then he'll make it through the regular season, and then obviously at the end of the season, I think he's gone.
All right, Dave. I don't know if that was your choice, but if it was, I'll ask some questions about it. If it's not, give us your choice.
No, that was it. Mike McCarthy. His seat is extremely hot right now. He's in his last year of a contract. He has not negotiated any contract with Jerry Jones. And let's face it, I agree with Brian wholeheartedly. He's great during the regular season. He can be 11-6. He can be maybe,
12-5.
12-5. Yeah, I'll go there. I'll go 12-5. I think Philadelphia is retooled. I think they're a better team, but be that as it is, can the Cowboys win the East? That's 50-50 right now. But yeah, McCarthy. And we all know Jerry does things Jerry's way, and I say that very sternly. Jerry's way. It's Jerry's way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, we've seen it. We saw it with Jason Garrett. We see it with, Bill Parcells was smart enough to walk away. So was Jimmy Johnson to an extent. But I'll still say to this very day, to this very moment, as far as, the best coach outside of maybe, I know the legendary Tom Landry. Okay, that's a different that's over here. 29 years of being the head man of the Cowboys, that gives you, some creds. But, look what Jimmy Johnson did in 5 years. 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, they all say, well, Barry Switzer won, the third Super Bowl. No, he didn't. That was Jimmy Johnson's team, and all Barry did was stand at the helm and steer the ship. You guys know what the Navy term Dunsel? You know what that is? Dunsel is an apparatus aboard a ship that has absolutely no purpose whatsoever. Barry Switzer. You guys never heard that before?
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's the true definition of a Dunsel. It's an apparatus aboard a ship that has absolutely no purpose.
Well, here's my take on that. Actually, here's my question for you. Because we know that Jerry doesn't necessarily fire coaches in the middle of the season or during the season for that matter.
Wade Phillips.
That's what, the one and only time that he's done it since he's on the team?
Yes. To my knowledge, yes.
Yes. So do you think if it goes off the rails pretty quickly, do you think he gets let go before the season ends?
Okay. If he does, his interim is no longer part of the Cowboys. What would have been his interim is now the head coach. Where'd he go?
That would be he was with the Washingtons.
That's right.
The Commanders.
Yeah.
So that would have been, if Jerry got rid of McCarthy, that would have been the interim, and most likely the next head coach of the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry had an opportunity to do that, by the way. Jerry had an opportunity at the end of last season to hang on to him, and before he was picked up by somebody else, he had an opportunity.
Right.
Remember during the offseason, there was that constant back and forth in the media between McCarthy and Jerry. Is he staying? Is he going? Am I staying? Am I going? That was all, being played out in newspapers and talk radio and all the other talking heads. Well, McCarthy's still here. Doesn't have a contract. Hadn't even started negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy is being treated just like a Dak Prescott.
Oh, boy.
Do you see my point?
Yeah, I do. All right, so let me give my my coach's seat who could be very, very hot. And I don't think it'll be to the point to where this guy, he's going to finish the season. As a matter of fact, his team is going to make the playoffs. But if they come up short again, I think Kyle Shanahan's seat is really, really going to be warm. Because
that's bold.
Well, think about it. I mean, what more does he have to do, or what more can he do other than win the whole thing? Getting there just ain't gonna do it. He's been there if they get there this year, it'll be the third time in 6 years. And you come out 0-3 against the same team? Nah, man. Those cats out there by the bay, they trying to get to New England status and Pittsburgh status. They want to lead the Cowboys as with 5, and it'll be three franchises tied with 6. And if you look at it, the 49ers very well could easily have 7 right now because they've had the lead in both of the Super Bowls in the fourth quarter with that defense. So you mean to tell me that if the Shanahans get to the Super Bowl again and lose, that he won't be let go? I find that very hard to believe. See, that's the caveat. It's a playoff team, we know. We know they are a Super Bowl contender. We know that. But, dude, I mean...
Well, the clock's ticking on, McCaffrey's legs, too. Who knows how much longer he's going to be able to run, how he runs. And, you're not wrong. Deebo Samuel's always hurt, it seems like, every year. So, a lot of their pieces and weapons, they got Ayuk for a while, and they got a young quarterback, which I won't name. But
I'll name them. I'll
no,
name
don't
them.
name
I'm gonna tell you what. No, I'm gonna name them because of this reason right here. Because they're going to have to pay him next year. They're gonna have to pay him. And Brock Purdy is going to command a minimum, in my opinion, of 45 M's a year. Especially if he is one of the reasons why they get to the Super Bowl, like he was one of the reasons last year. I'm not saying he is the reason, but he's a big reason why they got there, right? So if he has another one of those type of years, they're going to have to pay him. And then next thing you know, look, I know they just got, and they may be doing it the right way because they re-signed Trent Williams today. They signed Brandon Ayuk last week. Christian McCaffrey may be out of there. And that may not be such a bad thing because, you know, he might be an Achilles tear, or he might be a run away from an Achilles tear with his calf strain. So that's what I say. That's what I say about that. And like Stone Cold Steve also was saying, that's all I got to say about that.
That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line.
I don't disagree with you as far as Callahan's concerned, but in the same breath, he has gotten them to the Super Bowl 3 times.
Well, it will be 3 if they make it this year.
Right. But I'm saying, you know, if what does the West have to offer as far as competition for the 49ers?
Well, it ain't
Arizona?
The West, it's Kansas City.
No, I'm talking about the NFC, not the AFC. So, I mean,
Detroit
Arizona?
Detroit had him on the ropes. Green Bay had him on the ropes. Both teams had him on
not a knockout.
I understand that. But and that's if they even get past either one or both of those teams. What I'm saying, Dave,
reloaded.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Dave, is that my confidence level in Shanahan not being on a hot seat is just as high as it would be for like Ben says right here, McDermott's seat in Buffalo was hot as Hades. Yeah. What I'm saying is that my confidence level in terms of Shanahan being on the hot seat is every bit as high as it is for those other guys that we just mentioned. It's just that his team's going to go further.
Buffalo's got their own work cut out, but I think the Bills can take the East.
Hold on a second. You're getting too far ahead of us.
Sorry.
All right.
That's
all right. That's all right. Let's get to the next part of the show. I actually have labeled this, and I know y'all are some hip hop fans like I am. So I have labeled this funky or fresh, which means I am going to give you some statements, and you have to tell me whether or not it is funky, or meaning that you don't believe in it, or whether it's fresh, whether you do believe in it. And I got some help from one of my favorite rappers of all time, and it goes a little something like this.
You sell out if you want to, homie, but I'ma stay short but funky.
So it's funky. It's funky, or is it fresh? All right, Brian, here we go. Statement numero uno. Uno. Jared Goff will have more touchdown passes and yards than Dak Prescott. Is that funky or fresh? Funky, you believe in it or you don't believe in it? Fresh, you do believe in it.
I'm going to say fresh. I think he does.
All right. You think he does? Okay. Sorry. Okay, Dave, I got one for you. Matthew Stafford will throw for more. Yes, Highland Park, right down the street from both of us. Matthew Stafford will throw for more touchdowns than any other quarterback that plays their home games in the state of California. Funky or fresh?
Funky.
All
Don't
right.
get me wrong. I like Matt. I used to watch him play high school ball at Highland Park. Don't get me wrong. I like the kid. But that question, no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to keep my finger on this one because, of course, that's Justin Herbert, that's Brock Purdy, and that's Matthew Stafford. Somebody on another show said that Matthew Stafford's not going to even throw for more touchdown passes than his stadium mate. And that, of course, is Justin Herbert, which I'm like, who's he going to throw the ball to?
Right. Who's he got to throw the ball to? And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if Purdy's going to have more touchdowns than Stafford. So, but.
All right, Brian. I'm going to give you guys the same question. It's going to be the bonus. Right. Funky or fresh, Brian?
Okay.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will become engaged at some point during the season.
Excuse me while I throw up.
This is season 2 of Taylor and Travis, huh? I guess it's season 2. Season 2, technically. Yeah, I'm going to say it's fresh.
All right, Dave. Funky or fresh? Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will become engaged at some point during the season.
Is there a second part to that? Will they stay engaged?
Well, you got to get engaged before you can stay engaged.
You know, that's a darn good question. If the media is hounding it as much as they are, I'm going to say fresh. I'd say that they have to put I think it's one of those put up or shut up times for Kelce. Put a ring on it, as Beyonce said.
Yeah, she did say that. And shout out to Travis and Jason Kelce for their $100 million Amazon deal for their podcast. I mean, the rich just keep getting richer. I mean, that's just what it is. All right, that was fun. I appreciate y'all's candor on that. I have this is something that Brian is not in the show. And Dave, this is something I like to do from time to time. On all of the other shows, even the ones on the network, I have a segment where I call it the ShakeBack Media Group has been privileged and blessed to be able to cover the DeSoto High School Eagles all year round. And I am working with defensive coordinator Tony Holmes and Coach Sweeney on some things. Yeah, Coach Sweeney trying to get some things in place for the guys out there. So I'll be I was at the game this past Saturday where they played Fairview of suburban Atlanta.
And so, is that the one they won 70-0?
They won 70-0.
That's what I thought.
So what it does for me is it's the part of the show, Brian, you're familiar with it. Something inside or outside the world of sports that made you say, "Did you see that?" And that, of course, is Henry Rowan Gardner from Rookie of the Year back whenever it was. And this edition of Did You See That comes from DeSoto's wide receiver, Christoph Fantroy. And it just so happens I have some video evidence of this. So let's go ahead and bring him to the stage. And there he is with the punt return. Why is it moving? There we go. Keep going. 62 yards. 62 yards as he takes it to the house against the Creekview Seminoles of Fairbairn. I think it's Fairbairn, Georgia, en route to a 70-0 victory. Guys, I left at halftime because it was 49-0. Actually, I left in the third quarter because it was 49-0. I texted Coach Holmes and I said, "Thank you for the opportunity, but my eyes are too young to keep on witnessing this beating that you guys are putting on them."
It was a massacre.
That's a brutal beating to make it across country from Georgia as a high school to get thumped like that. Oof.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, Willie. I truly don't think Sweeney, to his credit, when he put that team on his schedule, was going to give him that kind of nothing competition. I don't think that's what he thought of.
Mm-mm.
He thought he was going to get it. I mean, come on, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, some of those southern schools, those southern state schools, they put out some pretty good hosses. But I got to be honest with you, because I've seen teams from Florida take on Dallas Skyline, and just demolish Skyline. Seen Duncanville get into it every so often with a school from out of state. I don't think when you book the school, when you put them on your schedule, that you expect something else and got nothing out of it.
And you know what's funny about that? Not funny as in hilariously, like I'm dying laughing type funny, but what's ironic about that is that when I was actually inside the stadium, I was talking to some people, some of the parents that came up from Georgia, and they were telling me that that team lost in the state championship game last year. So I was like, huh?
Exactly.
To their defense, though, guys, I think they may be one of the lower levels. Like, I don't think they're 6A like DeSoto is, because those boys were way smaller, and they didn't have nearly the amount of players on their roster that DeSoto had on theirs. So I'll be back out there in DeSoto this Friday. They play North Crowley. DeSoto is actually ranked number 1 in the state, and I think number 5 in the country. And there's going to be a battle a little bit later on in the year between them and Duncanville. And I am looking forward to that matchup, because that's going to be two heavyweights with D1 prospects all over the field, man. It's going to be crazy.
Where is that game going to be played? Is that in Duncanville or in DeSoto?
I will check and I will let you know. I looked at the schedule. I want to say earlier. I checked it right now. I looked at the schedule earlier today. Somebody was going to ask me that. That game is at home, October the 11th.
Okay.
Oh, you Texas.
Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, they will be coming off a bye week as well. They'll be playing at Waxahachie on the 27th, and then home to Duncanville on the 11th. So I can't wait for that, man. It is going to be phenomenal. All right. So let's keep on going here in the show, because we got some other things we got to get to. I got some true false. And again, I get to make statements. This time, y'all have to give me a one-word answer. You have to say either true or you have to say false. I don't want no soliloquies. I don't want no thesis. I don't want no book reports. I don't want no 2,500-word papers. I don't want none of that. I just want true or false. So with that being said, man, let's get to it. All right. Oh, wait a second. I have something. Do I have something? I thought I had something. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Right here.
And welcome to our true or false quiz, in which I'm going to make 10 statements, and all you have to do is to decide whether they're true or false.
All right, Dave. True or false? Bill Belichick has coached his last game in the NFL.
Well, yeah, true.
Close enough. Close enough. All right, Brian. Marvin Harrison Jr. will have more touchdowns than Rome Odunze.
True.
Dave, true or false? Jordan Love will throw for more touchdown passes than Aaron Rodgers.
True.
All right, this is a bonus for both you guys. Old face in a new place. Head coach Dan Quinn, who we just mentioned earlier in the show, is now the head coach of the Washingtons. He will lead the Washingtons, Brian, to a season sweep of the Dallas Cowboys? True or false?
False.
Dave?
False.
It wouldn't surprise me, guys, if it happened. For real. It would not surprise me. It would not. Maybe. Go ahead.
I was going to say it definitely could. I just know that Dallas does tend to play a little bit better in the regular season. So in Washington, we're not sure 100% what Jaden Daniels is going to be. So if Jaden Daniels comes out and just plays lights out and he's all that they're saying he's going to be, then yeah, they could definitely sweep the Cowboys. But I don't see it right now.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Jaden.
I see a sweep. I see a split.
You see a split?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's just my heart hoping for a sweep because, there's no
You
content
love the
like
Cowboys so much.
There's no content like trolling Cowboys fans content. I mean, we could stay. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me move on because I'm already getting excited. All right. So speaking of Jaden Daniels and the rest, let's get to these predictions.
Okay.
Who's gonna win what? Offensive Rookie of the Year. Wow. Dave. If you want me to give you
I got to be honest with you. I don't have a clue right now because as rookies go, show me one rookie right now that's going to be the biggest impact player. The biggest. So, I mean, right now, I don't know. That's just as honest as I can be because I don't know which rookie is going to be the impact player.
So you're not going to even give us a guess?
No. No. I'm just being honest because again,
he's not wrong.
Who is, in your opinion? Okay, William, let me throw it back at you. In your opinion, who's the biggest impact player that's a rookie?
Well, I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
The biggest impact.
I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I don't think it's going to be Caleb Williams. And I understand, Brian, that he went to Oklahoma, but he also went to SC. Okay.
And he also has a Heisman Trophy, and he's got a Heisman.
And I trust no quarterbacks that went to SC, went to SC in the pros. Name me the last one that had the career that we thought that they would have.
And you know what, Willie, you're missing one piece of information here. None of those USC, and I don't like the guy, and I don't want to support him. However, none of those USC quarterbacks had Lincoln Riley teaching them and training them. If Lincoln Riley's anything, he's a quarterback whisperer. He can at least develop quarterbacks. That's why I feel like Caleb Williams is going to be the Rookie of the Year. I think that he will be the biggest impact for his particular team. I just do. I think he comes out as long as his offensive line can give him any time to throw. He can make the throw. He's got all the intangibles to be a great quarterback. He's good on his feet. He can throw the deep ball. He is a bit of a gunslinger, so he may throw quite a few interceptions, and that might be his downfall. But hey, he has all the intangibles to be the Rookie of the Year for sure.
And you know what? Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I was going to say, draft night. You and I had that conversation.
Yep.
We sure did. And we you asked that same identical question. What quarterback out of USC has made the biggest impact? We couldn't name one, and there hasn't been one. But agreeing with Brian, they didn't have a Lincoln Riley as their head coach. They also, how many Heisman Trophy winners did Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops put out in the last decade? That's right. How many has Notre Dame put out in the last decade?
The last Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame is Tim Brown in 1988.
That's correct. How many Heisman Trophy winners have come out of USC in the last decade? Last one was who?
04, Reggie Bush. Or was it Matt Leinart? Matt Leinart won in 03, so I think it was Reggie Bush in 04.
It was actually 05.
Or 05. Yeah.
Because it should have been Vince Young, but I'm not saying anything.
That's right. It should have been. 100% should have been. I'll agree with you.
But the point that back to what Willie was asking during draft night, what quarterback has done anything out of USC? None.
Yeah.
Even Liner coming out of USC didn't do anything.
Yeah, and that's the point. I mean, it's not like they are a third or fourth rounder like Dak or Mr. Irrelevant like Purdy. These guys were all either Heisman Trophy winners, number 1 overall picks, or a top 10 draft choice.
Right.
And some of them have 2 of the 3. Or actually, if you have 2 of the 3, you're gonna have 3 of the 3. So that's and I understand what y'all saying. I understand what y'all saying about Lincoln Riley, but he's got Matt Eberflus now. What about Matt Eberflus? What about Matt Eberflus has made you have any confidence that this dude is going to be able to put it together?
Who's his running back? Because that football team, that football team Swift became a rushing team.
Yeah, DeAndre.
Got DeAndre Swift
and your boy Roshan from Texas.
Yeah,
he's up there.
The portal. Yep.
All right, good stuff, fellas. Let's move on. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dave, it's okay if you don't have a choice.
Well, no, I mean, God, who's that cat that came out of Penn State? Oh crap! I can't think of his name. I see his face. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a kid that, I mean, if he has, I'll just say this: if he has a percentage of the talent that Micah Parsons did when he came out of Penn State, that's a pretty good choice.
Yep.
God, what is his name? I just went blank.
I don't think anybody expected for Micah Parsons to do what Micah Parsons is doing right now.
When I saw Micah play for Penn State, I knew he was a special cat. Did I think he was this special? Not really. But then again, they said the same thing about Randy White coming out of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and I look at Mike as kind of the same type of player as a Randy White. Remember when Randy came to the Cowboys, they had him as a linebacker. Then they told him to put his hand in the ground and be on the end, and look what he did.
He was a beast.
Hall of Fame. Well, he became a Hall of Famer.
Aaron Maben.
That's it. Thank you.
Aaron Maben. Aaron Maben.
Yep.
All right. Brian, who's your Rookie of the Year?
This is one of the ones I wish I had my notes that are on my computer because I can't pronounce the guy's name. I know where he went. He's the defensive end at the Colts. Lua Tiatua or whatever. Yeah. What's his name? Could you say? Yeah. Do you know what it is, Willie?
Yeah, it's Laiatu Latu.
Latu. That's right. Yeah. He's going to be a defensive rookie of the year.
He's actually my choice as well. Coach of the year, Brian, who you got?
This is a tough one. I'm going to say that it's Dan Campbell.
I can see that. I mean, I guess my only qualm about that would be whatever they do in terms of success is going to be expected.
Right.
You know, that's my only qualm about that. Dave, who you got? And please don't
Quinn.
say you got Dan Quinn.
Quinn.
You know what? That's not a I think the Washingtons are going to be sneaky. Like they're going to surprise a lot of us. Well, some of us. Maybe a whole bunch.
I can see them. I can see them if they don't. And this is really a stretch for my imagination. If they can't at least tie for the NFC East, they'll be the wild card.
You're getting ahead of me again.
Sorry. And I didn't get the little outline.
Nope. That's on me. But Dave was the kid in school that always strive for extra credit.
No, Dave was the one that always asked the teacher, "Are we having homework tonight?"
Is that how you wound up with that 1.6 grade point average?
Lady
That's
A is in the building.
Yeah, Lady A's in the building. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
The thing is, she isn't lying. I did graduate with a 1.60 grade point average.
Oh my goodness. All right. My coach of the year is going to be Raheem Morris from the Atlanta Falcons. I think he's taken his knocks, and I think he's learned from what he did with the Jet. Was it the Jets? No. Yeah. No, that was top. No. He was who? Oh, was it the Cardinals? It was Cardinals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wasn't he assistant coach? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when he was the head coach, I think he was the head coach for a stint. Yeah. All right. Comeback player of the year. I got Aaron Rodgers from the New York Jets. I don't know why. I don't know. Brian.
Kirk Cousins.
He's a popular choice. Is he your choice, Dave?
No, actually, Rodgers is.
Rodgers is?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I agree with you.
You know, I heard something earlier today about Aaron Rodgers and a stat that was it was weird. They said, name the quarterback that has had the most opening day wins as a starter. And Aaron Rodgers was he was on top, or he was the number one choice. He's got 7. Yeah, he's got 7 because that game last year counted as a stat for him, even though he only played 4 games or 4 series or 4 plays.
4 series. No, he played 4 downs.
4
downs. Yeah.
So
that
wait a minute.
counted.
Wait a minute. What was the question again? What was the stat again?
Name the quarterback that has had in the last decade the most opening day wins.
Decade. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Defensive player of the year, Brian.
You know, I'm going to go with Max Crosby, your guy. I think he takes another step up. I think Crosby is I think he does it this year.
I think Brian's been watching the other shows.
No, I truly believe it. Got a lot of good talent out there, and he's gonna be. He's probably not top 3, like right now projected, but yeah, no, I think he does.
Dave,
I got to be honest with you guys. Right now, I keep going back to Micah because I think because he wants the contract so bad, you'll see a light out year with him. I mean, he's in his final year of this contract, wants the next contract, and we all know what that does for players. It makes them more hungry. And you start seeing, Superman come out of nowhere.
Right.
So I'll go with Micah.
I'm going Max Crosby as well. And it's not because I'm a homer. I promise it's not because I'm a homer. I think the Raiders defense, the line especially, has a really good chance to be really, really good. And that means no more double teams and triple teams for Max. Max never comes out of the game. He plays the run and he plays the pass. I've even seen him drop into coverage before. And if he does that for whatever reason and gets one and takes it to the house, and along with everything else that he already does, he'll win it. All right. Up next is the offensive player of the year. Brian. CeeDee Lamb. Hamstring alert. Hamstring watch.
It'll be all right. I would say Chris McCaffrey, but I don't think he's going to make it through the season.
Oof, yeah.
Hashtag Madden curse.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. Do you remember this last year?
No.
Yeah, God.
Why, Willie?
Yeah, why?
Listen. There's only been one person that has been unscathed from the Madden curse, and that's Tom Brady. That's because he's the GOAT. Everyone else has had something, anything. Most of them are season ending, but everyone else has had something happen. So,
what year was Tom Brady on the cover? I don't even remember.
Man, I'll be honest, I don't remember which year it was. I just know that he's the only one that didn't get affected by it. He actually won a Super Bowl that year. So whatever year he won a Super Bowl, one of them, he was on the cover.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, who's your offensive player of the year?
Mahomes.
An award that usually goes to a quarterback. I could see Mahomes doing it. That it reminds me of that one year when Tom Brady won Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP. That was the 2007 season.
Right.
I think that year that Offensive Player of the Year should have gone to Randy Moss, and Tom could have won the MVP. So my next question, Dave, for you is this: will Patrick Mahomes win the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP? Is he your MVP choice?
I'd hate to say yes, but that's only in the event that he takes the team to the playoff and does extremely well again, which, again, all roads go through Kansas City. Yeah, I'll go that way. Just because I can't think of anybody else that could possibly, outdo that.
Right. Well, Dak, I mean, a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. Let me just say this. Dak is on the list of odds. He's not like 160,000 to 1. He's like, 30 to 2 or something crazy like that. Brian.
Dak needs to throw about 10 less interceptions for him to win MVP. 10, 15 less, whatever. He needs to throw less interceptions. He might win it, but it's not my pick. No.
Yeah, and last year he did that. Yeah, 37 touchdowns and like 11 picks? That's not bad.
Which is about 10 picks too many.
Right. There you go.
Well,
most of these MVPs have 4 or 5 picks in a season,
And of those 10, and of those 11, how many went pick 6?
I wouldn't know the answer to that, but I'm sure it's a lot.
3.
3 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Who's your MVP?
As much as I want to pick someone else, I'm pretty sure didn't Lamar Jackson win it last year? He did. He won MVP last year, right? Then he went back to back. Yeah.
No,
he's not gonna.
No, he won it in.
Did he not win it back to back? I thought he won it back to back. Maybe not, but he's at least won it twice. I know he had. I don't think Lamar wins it this year. I don't think he wins it this year, and I do think Mahomes wins it, unfortunately. And so, shout out to Tisha. Prayers up for her with COVID. But I got to give it up to Mahomes. He's probably going to win it.
She's going to be even more unbearable if that happens. I mean, she's already like makes us throw up in our mouth every single time. And I'm not doing any wagers with her this year either. I'm not wearing any Chiefs hats anytime during the point of this season.
Yeah, do not make a bet that your Raiders will win. If they win, you'll wear a Chiefs hat. That's what you did last year. You picked your team to win, but you said that you wear a Chiefs hat if they won.
Double or nothing, and then my Raiders, the narcotic that is the Las Vegas or the Oakland/Los Angeles/Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders, they got me high because of the win, but then they got me low because they lost the bet for me. Anyway, okay. My offensive player of the year is Tyreek Hill, and my MVP is Joe Burrow. And if Joe Burrow doesn't win it this year, I'm going to throw him on the heap along with Josh Allen, who I picked to win it twice. He let me down twice. If Joe Burrow doesn't win it, I'm throwing him on the heap, and he will never be chosen again by me as MVP of the NFL. Okay. Playoff time rather. And we're just going to go down the line through each division. We're going to do the AFC first. And you guys are going to tell me who's going to win a division, each division, and ultimately get to
playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
the immortal Jim Mora. All right, Brian. AFC East.
I'm going to go Dolphins.
AFC North.
Let's go with the Ravens.
AFC West.
Chiefs.
AFC South.
Jaguars.
Who are your AFC wild cards? 3 of them.
Texans. Let's go with the Bengals and the Jets.
Dave. AFC East.
I like Brian's pick with the Dolphins, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
What do you say? I can't believe you got me in the mix with this fool.
Or how about this one? Okay. Where were we? Okay, AFC East, AFC North, Dave.
I'm going with the Bengals.
AFC West.
Chiefs.
AFC South.
Man. God, I mean, really, the South.
Mm-hmm.
It will not rise. It will not rise again.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. It's a tough choice. I mean, I kind of like the Jaguars. I like what they have. I think they're retooled. I'll go with them.
All right.
I'll go with the Jaguars.
All right. AFC wild cards. Give me 3 of them.
I agree with the Texans. Dolphins. Toss up between maybe the Steelers and the Colts. I'll go with the Steelers.
No Ravens?
No, I'm not
Wow.
a big. Listen, trust me, I'm not a huge Raven fan to begin with.
Okay. All right. So I got the Jets, the Bengals, the I hate thems, the Texans, the Jaguars. My wild cards are Buffalo, Baltimore, and Houston. Let's swing it to the NFC. Brian, NFC East.
Oh, let's go with the 49ers.
The East?
That's not my fault.
This is not the Pac-12 or the Big Ten, brother.
Or the NFL back in the day when you had the Falcons in the West.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me.
Wow.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
My fault. Let's see. So
that ain't easy, is it?
no, it's not. It's not easy at all. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
All right, North.
North is going to be the Lions.
West.
West will be the 49ers.
South.
South will be the Falcons.
Who are your wild cards?
The wild cards will be the Bucks, the Packers, and the Cowboys.
Oh gosh. All right, Dave. NFC East.
God, I hate saying this because it hurts me so much.
Giants.
I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna go Eagles.
North.
Lions, easy.
West.
49ers.
South.
Probably the Falcons. Yeah, probably the Falcons.
All right. Wild cards.
Ugh. Cowboys. This is really going out on a limb. Good possibility, maybe the Rams. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a toss-up between the Vikings and the Packers. I'll go with the Pack.
The Vikings have Sam Darnold as their quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I thought I would help you out there.
Well, listen,
all right.
The Bears, and the Bears don't have anything to prove right now.
Well,
I don't think they're there yet.
We talked about that earlier. They got a lot of weapons, but I don't know. All right. Anyway, so for me, I've got Philly in the East. I've got Detroit in the North. I've got San Fran in the South. San Fran in the West. This is not the National League West when it was Atlanta Braves and San Francisco Giants and the Dodgers all in the same division. NFC South, Atlanta. My wild cards, Green Bay, LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks. Brian.
Ooh. Who's 3 out of the West?
Brian, who's going to the AFC title game?
AFC title game is going to be the Chiefs and Jaguars. And we're going to.
All right. And NFC title game.
NFC title game will be 49ers and Lions.
All right, Dave. AFC title game.
Ooh. I got the Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs Bengals.
NFC.
Lions and probably the Niners.
The Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh, my.
Oh, my.
All right. And I've got Baltimore and Cincy. I've got Philly and Green Bay. Brian, who's going to the Super Bowl and who's winning it?
The Lions are going over the 49ers against the Chiefs, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that the Chiefs are going to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl?
No. I did not say that. You didn't wait for me. I said the Lions are going to beat the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. And
unfortunately, the Chiefs will beat my Jaguars because I don't think we're ready yet to beat the Chiefs. But I think that Dan Campbell and Eminem by his side, the Lions take down and finally do it. The Lions do it this year. It's their year.
Marshall Mathers will be leading the praises of song in Detroit at the Super Bowl parade. All right, Dave, who you got in the Super Bowl and who's winning it?
You guys are going to think I'm smoking something on this side. Bengals beat the Chiefs. And I think the Lions beat the 49ers.
Okay.
We have a rematch of Super Bowl, 19? 89? And then a rematch of Super Bowl, whatever it was, in the Silverdome. All right, who's taking it?
So you're picking the Bengals and the Niners?
No, I'm asking you if that's what you're doing.
No, I said Bengals and the Lions.
Oh, Bengals and Lions. Oh, Battle of the Cats. All right. So which which cat is winning the Super Bowl?
Man. I'm going to go with the Lions.
The Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. There's 2 votes for the Lions. All right. My
Who
Super
you
Bowl
got?
pick. My Super Bowl pick is Baltimore and Green Bay. Shout out to Jennifer Coney Shepherd, third season, Real Moms of the Shield. She will be actually heading to Sao Paulo this week for Green Bay versus Philadelphia. I got Baltimore winning the Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson gets his first one. So now he will become one of those mentioned as one of the best to ever do it with his one Super Bowl and his 2 MVPs. And he's going to win the Super Bowl MVP as well. He's going to do it. All right, guys. Before we get out of here, tell everybody out there where they can find you, how they can listen to you. Or if you don't want them to find you, at least follow you. If you don't want them to follow you, at least find you on social media. Dave?
You can find me on BGC Sports, as Willie made a comment earlier, that you can find me on the 9s and 3s on BGC Sports. You can also find me on myntsn.com. That stands for the North Texas Sports Network. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Dave Radio. That's DAVRADIO, no E. Twitter is DAV_RADIO. And other than that, you can probably find me in most post offices for America's Most Wanted for impersonating a broadcaster.
Yeah, that last one is the best. All right, Brian, what's up?
Well, you can find me right here on the Show Sho Nuff Divided every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Every week during the season. Mainly find me on Twitter at Sooner25411. I am the general of the Stutzman Army. That's it.
And speaking of Stutzman, that dude gave some of his NIL money to some walk-ons at OU. I thought that was a fantastic story. Brian, you need to work on getting him on the show. That's your mandate.
$50,000 to 16 walk-ons.
Ain't that something? That's how it should be done.
That's the way it should be.
Yep, that's how NIL should be. Should be like that. So,
and from one Longhorn to a Boomer.
Sooner. Look at that. How about that?
All right. We did get along throughout the show. That's going to do it, man. We're going to get up out of here. Shaq is going to take us out. Y'all don't remember Shaq as a rapper, do you? Yeah. Don't remember Shaq as a rapper?
No, I think I do.
Come on.
You wanna fight? Come fight me. I hit you with the wow. You don't believe me? The proof is in the pudding. Been a boy in the hood way before Cuba Gooding.
Cuba Gooding. Come on. Music, please.